Hey guys, it's Miss Braswell. This is take 3 for me. I should have known I couldn't do this without making any mistakes, so this time, third time's a charm. Just going to go through it. I want to give you guys a little bit of background before you got started with your homework. By the way, I hope you all are doing well. I actually kind of miss you guys, and I hope that you're staying safe and staying indoors. So you are going to be reading Fahrenheit 451 by an author named Ray Bradbury. Ray Bradbury is an American author who was writing during this time period called the Cold War. So we are jumping from Greek history to American history in the 20th century. So I want to give you guys a little bit of background before you got started with your reading. So I'm going to go ahead and go to our Cold War reading that I've already placed into Notability. So the Cold War is really just a name for a time period. And the time period is 1945 to 1991. And that date can change depending on who you're talking to. But in 1945, this is when World War II ended. And if you remember World War II, this is the last major war between many, many countries, but the major players were the Axis, which included Japan, Germany, and others, and the Allied forces, which was the United States, the UK, France, and actually the Soviet Union. The Cold War ended, we'll say, in 1991, and this is when the USSR fell. So, the Cold War is this time period of hostility between two major countries, which were the superpowers of the world at the time. These two major countries were the USA and the USSR, which means Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, also known as the Soviet Union, also known as Russia, and many other countries which are now independent today. As of 1991, some of these are Uzbekistan, Yugoslavia, Ukraine, and many others. So the Cold War is this time period in which these two countries, they never actually fight against each other. They never go to battle. They never fight against each other. Which is why it's cold. Not because of the weather, although that's always my favorite joke. It's probably not as funny on a video. But the cold meaning that they're never actually head-to-head fighting each other. There are hot spots. There are wars during this time period. A very famous one, an infamous famous one to us, is the Vietnam War, Korean War. These were wars that the United States was directly involved with to fight not necessarily against the USSR, but to fight against what the USSR wanted for the free world, for the world. So I'm going to start reading with you guys just to kind of show you guys what we expect and to make sure that you understand this. During World War II, the United States and Soviet Union fought together as allies, which I always think is really interesting. They were on the same team in World War II against the Axis powers. And again, that is Germany, Japan, Italy, etc. However, the relationship between the two nations was a tense one. Americans had long been wary, good word, make sure you define that, of Soviet communism and concerned about Russian leader Joseph Stalin's tyrannical, bloodthirsty rule in his own country. So Joseph Stalin is definitely a name that you should know. He is the tyrannical ruler of the USSR. So they mentioned this thing, communism. I know you guys have heard this word used before. It's when it's boiled down, it's an economic system that spreads into other elements of society. But the idea is there's no private property. Everything is owned by the public collectively. and things are divvied out to create this sense of, people working together, this sense of equality. But there's a fantastic Khan Academy video that I've posted under additional resources in the Cold War. If you watch like the first, 10 minutes of it, breaks down capitalism, socialism, and communism. So if those are terms that you don't quite understand, I would definitely watch that. I think just generally these are terms that get thrown around even when people don't always know what they mean. So I got you started. Please let me know if you have any questions. Again, you are going to be finishing up this assignment where for each topic you need to write 2 to 3 sentences that summarize each paragraph or 2 paragraphs, and then you're going to be submitting by next Friday. Let us know if you have any questions. I hope you guys are doing well.